Okay, Garden Light Video 3. So we have this assembly, we saved it, it's called Shade Complete, and we are adding a new part. But this new part we're going to design in assembly, which I usually never recommend because it's just a horrible idea. But that's what they want us to do, so that's what we're going to do. So we are going to start by going to Insert Components, and we're going to go with New Part. And by doing that, new part, we go to our front plane, and this is where we're going to draw in a strap. So we go to normal to that plane, and so we are normal to that, and we're going to start up a sketch. We're going to draw a center line. Basically, I'm going to actually probably need to hide that sketch, so I'm going to end it, hide sketch, so that we have a clean slate. At which point we need to select the middle point of that line. What do I think? Mid plane? Okay. And we're creating a vertical line like so. There is no length specified because it's just a construction line. And then we hit escape. Next we will draw a rectangle. So we will select the rectangle command. And the only problem is gotta be tricky because there's two lines in here. One is the back, and actually that's the back one we want, which is the higher one. So we're going to select that, and we're going to draw a rectangle, like so. Looks like we're not going all the way down. So we're going to draw something like that. We did snap to the top one, not the bottom one. Zoom in if you need to, as specified. And so we got 2 points, top corner, and we are on the next step, which is step 137, where we give out the dimensions. This is going to be 3. Oh, I'm in inches. I got to change my options here. Okay, so this is 3 millimeters, and the overall length is going to be 20. It's not fully defined because it's not placed. We need to make sure. Oh, they want us to use the symmetric component. So what you want to do is, to do the symmetric, you select the left side of the rectangle, and then you, holding the key, you select the center construction line. Then you select the right side of the rectangle, with control of course, and you go symmetric. I don't use symmetric often, but that's a cool way of doing it. So we have that symmetric, or you could have used the midplane, so forth. I mean midpoint. And now we can do the extrude boss base. So we go to our features menu tab, extrude boss base, and we extrude. How much is it asking us? Up to body. So it doesn't actually give us a length, but we're going both ways. In 2014, you can do both ways. Wait, up to body. No, we have to do it separately. So we have to do in our direction. Again, up to body, and you select the other face, giving you something like that. So it's going through. Ooh, I like the colors though. It's very cool. So good. And we accept or click OK. Next, we select the top face, and we're going to sketch a circle because we're going to make a hole, I believe. This circle is going to be at the origin, which is nice. And what is the diameter? Diameter is 6. So you can put that in, 6. And it's fully defined. Great. Next step we do is extrude, cut through all. And we accept it. Just like that, we have that top part. It also wants us to edit the component. Well, actually, no, we're done. So we get out of the editing component. There we go. Yay. Refresh. So we have that completed part, and we are on step 143. There's a few tips on there. If you want, you can read those in. And they finally want us to do the design library, which is interesting, and I hope it's set up. Otherwise, we're in trouble. Design library is right here on the right side. You click on that. There is a toolbox. So you click on the toolbox where you can pick all the hardware that are standard in both isometric. Oh man, I need to add it now. Okay, so you add it, so it uploads it to the drawing, and from then we go to DIN. Oh, this is a German one. It wants us to use German parts. Don't like this. Don't know why. But okay, German style. Not sure how that's going to be different from ours, except it's metric. So we go then bolts and screws. We go to studs on the bottom. Studs with an S, not stud. I think there's two files in there. And we're gonna pick stud bolt DIN 9761. This one, stud. Okay. And what you want to do is drag and drop. Bang. It is placed. Oh, actually, I should put it. What you want to do actually is try it and place it in the hole. I think you can do that. There it goes. And this is not looking good. This looks huge. Yeah. Now we gotta find out what size. So we need to set the diameter to M6, so you can go over here and change it, or you can go here. Where? M6. No, it's 64. Where's my M6? Hey, where are the fudge monkeys? So I picked it from the wrong library. There's two of them in 2014. There's studs, and there's studs fin pitch. And the one we need to be in is not the second one, it's the first one. I think I picked the wrong one. And then there's the DIN 9761, and that should be the correct size. That's what threw me off. And then we can change the actual size. So we're going from the default to M6, and the length is 60. I don't know why that's so long, but they want it that long. And we accept. And click escape because it's going to ask you to put one more into a hole, which is up to you if you want to. Next, we add some mates. It is mated already somewhat in the hole, but it's not. There's no location to it, so we need to put that mate in. And the mate for that would be the bottom face to the bottom face, and we accept that mate, giving us that little pin. From there, the assembly is complete, so we can just save this assembly, the shade complete assembly. So file, save. There's the component that we created, or part we created in this drawing. So it wants to know if it wants to save this part of the assembly or save that part separately. I'm just going to save it in the assembly. It does not specify in the worksheet, but I think it does. We're going to do the top, aren't we? Uh-oh. Alright, so once we have that, we save it, and we open up a new part. File, new part, okay. We start a sketch at the top plane. This one is going to be the same shape we've been doing lately, except for that it's not going to have a construction line. It's going to be all regular lines. Again, select midpoint, select the origin, make those coincident, And then we could also add in the dimensions finally. Do that. This is 125. I gotta change my units. Just realize that to metric. From there, I can change this to 125. And finally, the angle for here is 125. And these are all equal sided. So we select all these three sides, make them equal, and we finish our sketch. It's fully defined. Next, we need to create a top plane for this. So we go into our features, reference geometry, plane. We reference the top plane at a distance of 40. So we put it 40, so it's not that far up, and we accept. That's our new plane. Now on the new plane, we're going to create a new sketch. But it wants us to make a sketch on plane 1. So we select plane 1. It wants us to it wants to create a point. Okay, so we're going to start a sketch. Plane 1, I go normal 2. It wants us to place a point at the origin. So that's a point. It snaps onto the origin. And exit the sketch. That's all we have to do. So there's a point. You'll see like a little star. From that point, we're going to use the loft boss base. So we go to features, loft boss base. We select the base sketch. Then we select the point. And that will loft it in. The other option for this would be if you use the math by chance or the size, you can just do a taper. I mean, you don't have to do the loft. But that's also tricky. And from there, it wants us to click on OK. So we accept it as is. They don't want us to change it. And we're on step 156, which is shelling. It wants us to shell the bottom so we go to our shell command. We select the surface in the bottom. And we will select. No, actually, it wants us to select the back plane in the front. This is kind of wacky. Can't tell. So what we need to do is shell the back and the bottom. So we rotate around. You see the bottom and the back, and the thickness is going to be 1.5 millimeters. And we can accept that. You can see it shells it out. It wants us to change the part into sheet metal, so you could just go to the sheet metal manager. Actually, it wants us to insert bends. So in our sheet menu, we go into insert bends right here at the bottom. And we're going to insert bends. We're doing that by selecting the center surface. We type it, 1 millimeter, keep that, and we click OK. I think we're going to accept that as OK. And now this is a sheet metal part. Got all these parts for it. So we have all this, and what it wants us to do next is to save it because it's complete. And we're going to save it as HUD. So File, Save As, HUD. In addition to that, it also wants us to create a assembly for the roof. So we've used both hoods and make the assembly. So what it wants us to do is make assembly from this part. We insert it. Then to make life easier, all I do is I'll just mirror it. I don't go trying to resolve something that you don't need to. So I'm going to mirror it, select the component, and Oops, that's not the face. The front will be my mirror plane, and the part is the part. That creates the actual hood. In addition to that, we have to create a hole, I believe. Yeah, at the origin. So we are going to we're going to start a sketch. After the maze, we're going to make a mountain hole in the roof to fix it. Draw a circle on the mid-plane portion. So we're going to do a sketch at the top where, oh no, it's not the top. We are starting a sketch, but this time it's going to be, well, it was top. I don't know why it's selected before. At the origin, we're creating a circle. The circle size is 6.5 millimeters. Why is it in inches? I don't know. 6.5. Oh, because we're in assembly now. I got to change that once more. Technically, if I knew there were so many drawings, I would just set it up as default. 6.5. Enter. We go to our features. Actually. Whoa. So we go into our assembly features, we go to extrude cut, we go the other direction, and through all, giving us a hole right through the center of the roof. And we click OK. Then we can save it. Save as. It's going to be called the hood complete. You save it. We have that done, and we move up to our next step, which is step 168. Actually, it wants us to open up a new assembly. Close that out. Close this out. New assembly, and we're going to start inserting all these parts. We start out with standard complete. So we go to standard complete and we open it. If it needs to be rebuilt, it has to be rebuilt. If not, then it doesn't. We have our first component. I hit the check mark for the first one. The second one we just place in the space anywhere, which is the actual, so next component is going to be the shade complete. And finally, the roof. Hood complete. Once you have all these components placed, we have to add the mates. Most of if not all of them, are going to be right to right plane, front to front, and then the actual top to top will be different. So we go with our shade complete first. We're going to do right plane and right plane, do front plane and front plane. And finally, we rotate around, we get the bottom of this, and we mount it to the top. And the holes should match. So that looks good. And finally, we're going to do the same thing with the hood. Right plane, front plane. And finally, that's going to be a little bit trickier because actually we have to select the actual edge. So we're going to select the bottom surface of the hood or the roof, and it's not letting me do that. Let's see if I can have another option here. We can use the top plane for the hood and use the edge of this piece here, and that gives us a position for the hood. So it's all components are done. If you want to remove the sketch from being shown, you can hide the sketch. Now, since I had all these axes, I could have also used the axis as a mate. Could have been faster. So that leaves us off at, actually, that completes the project. If you want to add materials to this, feel free to do so, but you have to go in each part and do it separately. Save your work. If you want to add glass panels, you can do that. You can do a lot of cool things with this.
Yeah, it's in the end holes and stuff like that.
So you can even add a light bulb. There we go. So we save it and we are done with this project.